Tortoise groaned groggily as she shifted onto her back. She sat up and yawned and poked Alejandro's burly frame. "Wake up, sleep snout." His eyes cracked open, a slight scowl grew on his face. "It's morning," she said in a sing-song voice before padding out. Tortoise blinked at the morning sun that filtered through the leaves and began to groom her pelt. She caught Alejandro's frame in the corner of her eye and scooched back. "Good morning." Salt waited another beat before straightening up. "Clan meeting! Everyone gather for a clan meeting," she called out, loud enough to reach the dens. He settled towards the back of the clearing. His fur was still ruffled with sleep. "Morning." "Not a morning person, eh?" she teased before looking up at the leader's call. "Unfortunately, I must sadden this beautiful morning. Our deputy has passed due to an illness. Let us have a moment of silence for them," Salt announced as she dipped her head. He cast a glance at Salt Star. "No, I'm a person who doesn't like being woken up," he grumbled. Tortoise rolled her eyes at Alejandra before dipping her head in respect. He dipped his head at the leader's words. "But we must put this passing behind us and move forward. For that, I must choose a new deputy. Any cat who thinks they are worthy, come stand before the wet rock," Salt said as she stood. Tortoise yawned and glanced at the sky as it started to rain. She wanted to get out of camp. "Only Falling Star wishes to stand up?" Salt asked, glancing to her warriors. "No one's in a rush to be deputy, it seemed," he whispered. "I mean, it's a lot of responsibility and work," she whispered back. "I thought it would be in much higher demand." "Well, I don't see you eager to be deputy," she teased. "Falling Sun, do you find yourself worthy of the role of deputy? Will you swear to protect this clan with your life?" He frowned. "I've no need for such a role. I have other things to focus on." "Like sleep," she smirked, remembering this morning. "I do find myself worthy, Salt Star. I swear I will protect the clan even if it costs my life." She smiled at the small kit before looking to the new deputy. "No, actually," he looked at the sheep cat. "Getting a better reputation within this clan. I'm not from here after all," he grumbled before turning to the kit, nodding. "Then may StarClan approve of his choice. Falling Sun, you are the new deputy of RiverClan. You may take your place beside the wet rock," Salt said. Tortoise smiled at her friend. "You are an honorable warrior whether or not you are from this clan," she nudged her friend. "Organize morning patrols, Sun. Hunting parties and border patrols," Salt said as she glanced to Sun. "Wake these cats up a little." He glanced towards Falling Sun and patted over. "Congratulations." Tortoise bounded over. "I know you'll be a good dep." Salt glanced at Saffron. She could sense he wasn't approving. She sighed, but no one else but Falling Sun stood up. "I looked at all these cats, deciding who should go for hunting, etc. Alejandra came to her. Thank you all." Tortoise groomed herself a bit, her coat a bit damp from the rain, but she didn't mind. "Jade Sight, you will go with Springflower and Sunstraight for a hunt," she said and looked at Alejandro. "You, me, and Stormroar will go for a border patrol." She sneered at Falling, no threat behind it, but a bit of grudge lingering with it. "If it pleases the new deputy," she said. She did a mock gesture of dipped her head. He groaned internally. He hated border patrols, but he knew better than to complain. "If you are not happy about it, go with Jade Sight, and Tortoise Snarl will go instead of you," she said sharply. She smiled a bit. She loved hunting, especially hunting fish. They were much easier to catch. "Okay, hunting patrol can go. We are going too." She bounded out of camp, hoping to catch something before night. As she closed her eyes and sniffed the air, catching the scent of a rabbit. Tortoise climbed up the steep hill. Technically, she wasn't breaking territory rules. He looked. A clan cat? She froze where she stood, fur bristling. A loner! Tortoise unsheathed her claws and snarled. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" He let out a hiss. "Why are you here? This is loner territory," he snarled. "Close enough! Explain," she growled, taking a step forward. Her tail lashed as she sized up the loner. "I live here, Mousebrain," he said, annoyed. "Well, too bad. Go. Shoot!" She swatted at them. He snarled, pinning the she. Eep! She squeaked as she toppled. Tortoise reached out with her paws, raking furiously at the loner's side. "This is my home, you dumb clan cat," he said, hissing as the she-cat clawed at his side. He held her paws down. She turned and bucked upward, trying to get them off. He shoved them away, hissing. Tortoise snarled as she got shoved, sliding towards the rushing gorge. "And I'm called Sootfur," he said. Tortoise's face turned from rage into fear as she gripped the stone, trying to keep from falling and barely hearing the loner's untimely introduction. He looked scared that she was so close to falling. Tortoise cried out in horror as she fell into the gorge. Tortoise flailed her paws, but to no avail, accidentally kicking the loner and falling over the edge. Tortoise's limp body flopped onto the sand. He let out a small whimper, using his paws to try to get her to breathe again. Tortoise coughed, water sputtering out of her lungs. His ears flattened, walking away guiltily. She blinked as she watched the figure pad away. Did that loner save her? She sat there on the riverbank, taking in shaky breaths before padding back to camp. She looked at the prey pile guiltily. She hadn't even hunted anything. "Saffron?" she said. He'd look over, flicking his tail. "I kind of got into a scuffle last night," she explained. "I kind of fell into the river and my paw kind of hurts. It wasn't entirely a lie. She did fall into the river." "All right, come along." He'd grab his prey and flick his tail for her to follow. "So what exactly happened?" Tortoise looked up. "Oh, she hesitated. "There was a loner and he pushed me into the river, but I managed to chase him out," she half lied, fidgeting nervously. He'd narrow his eyes, scoffing. He knew she was lying because of the look in her eyes and jumbling of words. "So can you walk on it?" he'd continue. "Yeah, a little bit," she stuttered. "The front paw." She nodded. "Yes." She didn't see any visible marks, so she would place a stick leaning up against their front paw and wrap it around it with cobweb, making sure it's tight. Tortoise looked out into the river, thinking about the loner. He'd rise. "It should be better in a few weeks if it's broken than longer, which you can walk on it, so it shouldn't be. I'll give you some poppy and send you on your way." He'd bite more onto the stick of cobweb. She nodded hastily. "Great, thanks so much," she said nervously. He'd drop the seed. "It may taste bad, but it will make you feel better." He'd drop it at her paws. She gobbled up the poppy quickly, patting out without another word. "May StarClan approve of my choice, Stormroar. Do you find yourself worthy of being a deputy? Will you protect this clan with your life?" Salt asked as her gaze turned to Stormroar. She slid in next to Hawk. "How much did I miss?" she whispered. She stood proud of herself. "I do. I'll provide and protect RiverClan with all cost," she said loud. "You know, not much, just new deputy," she meowed, slightly sarcastic but in good humor. "Then you may take your place beside the wet rock, as you rise as RiverClan's new deputy." "Ah," she nodded as she looked to Stormroar. She nodded to Lawrence before patting. "I'm not gonna read that." All kids ready to become apprentices step forward beneath a wet rock. Tortoise scooched back. The she crouched and began creeping across the clearing. She exited camp, intent on hunting. She sniffed the air, and her snout shriveled. It was the scent of that loner. She followed the scent through the rain, spotting the loner. She threw the fish at the she-cat, annoyed. "Hello again," she said before she was hit in the face. "Hey! Why are you here?" "Well, I was going to hunt, but it seems now I can ask you more questions." She kicked the trout aside. "Why did you save me?" she asked, straight to the point as she flicked her tail. He looked her up and down, noticing her more clearly. Something flickered in his eyes. "I used the fish as a projectile," he snickered. In the light of the setting sun, the loner's pelt looked beautiful. She shook her head to clear it. "You didn't answer the question." He stretched. "And?" "It's not like I take orders from you," he laughed. "I want to know why." She looked away. She felt the blush creeping onto her cheeks. "Yeah, but why would you save me? A clan cat. Sootfur," she said, remembering the loner's name. He patted her head. "Then why did you come to me?" "Ugh," she grunted. "I want to know why. Did you not hear my question?" She sat down. "And it's simple. I like messing with cats," he said, sitting down. He looked away. She blinked, shocked she actually got an answer. "You are Sootfur, right?" she asked, changing the subject. "Yeah." Tortoise flicked her ear. "I'm Tortoise Snarl, but you can call me Tortoise if you're not feeling formal." "Let me guess. Clan cats don't think us loners as formal," he chuckles. She laughed a bit. "No, not really. Usually, clans think you are angry and greedy cats with no sense of manners," she teased, smirking. "Figures. Those rogues give us loners a bad look." She laughed loudly. "How so?" "They always go attack clans, saying that they are so important and end up getting their hind kicked." Tortoise's eyes flicked towards the bridge as she saw a patrol of cats. They might be spotted together. "Go," she snarled. "Hey there," she said. She flicked her tail in greeting. "Hello." Her brows knitted tightly, tense from an unfamiliar scent. She blinked. "Who are we telling to go?" "You're out quite late," he tilted his head inquisitively. She sat, twitching an ear in agreement. "There was a loner over there," she said quickly, "but I managed to get them out of our territory." She looked around. "It only took words," she added. She'd squint harshly, as if looking right through her pelt and flesh. Her lip curled up into a scoff, turning tail and simply continuing the patrol. Typical rogues. What did they look like?" she quizzed. "So we can keep an eye out." "It was a loner, not a rogue," she corrected before stopping herself. "Well, I think they might have been a calico?" she lied. "I see." The tip of her tail twitched as she readied herself to move on. "We better hurry. Bat and all their impatience has left us," he urged. Tortoise nodded. "Have a nice patrol," she called out. The she padded past the deputy, hoping they didn't notice her absence. She looked behind her towards Salt, curious, though not saying much before glaring towards Tortoise. She sat, too in thought to go to sleep. She sighed. She hadn't even gotten any prey. Was she a bad warrior? And then I had to show up to camp completely covered in fox dung. It took me a full moon to fully erase the smell. Ha! You klutz! And then I got attacked by a little mouse. Fatal mistake, he snickered. That mouth was either foolish or you looked like the perfect snack. I take offense to that, he said, huffing. She laughed. I'm way too strong for a mouse to handle, he said, drama filling his tone. Ugh, stupid rain making me talk funny, he said, spitting. I think the rain is nice, she laughed, flicking water onto him. He sighed, his pelt all wet. Well, that doesn't help. That's ruining my awesome pelt. She nudged him, flicking her tail teasingly. I should go, she mewed. See you later. Bye, he said in a purr. She sat, trying to avert Stormroar's gaze as she nervously groomed her pelt, trying to get the loner's stench out of her fur. Tortoise's eyes nervously darted from cat to cat, hoping no one would notice the strange scent that clung to her fur like brambles. Oh goodness, I did that all in one breath. Her ears perked as she nervously looked at Batjaw and the deputy. She padded to the prey pile. She needed something to eat. Storm, report. Tortoise looked nervously at Saltstar before composing herself. Saltstar, a new scent was sensed near the Tulip Bridge, and it seems one of our warriors has been seen with a rogue near Sunning Rocks, she hissed, the last part, though, keeping low, not wanting most to hear and preventing gossip. Salt sighed. Send out more patrols to investigate the scent, and what warrior was seen consorting with the rogues? Morning, the she mewed. The clanmates saw Tortoise snarl, she mumbled before nodding, this time walking around camp to pick warriors for patrols. Oh, good morning. How do you have so much energy? You were out as late as I was, she chuckled lightly. Oh, just thinking about stuff, she nodded. Tortoise snarled, can we speak? Fear not if what you said was true. There's nothing to worry about, he cut himself off as the leader approached. She flicked her ear nervously. Of course, Saltstar, she said. Salt gestured for her to follow. Tortoise flicked her tail nervously. Tortoise, I've heard thing. I hope you are untrue. Were you consorting with a rogue on Sunning Rock? Salt asked, keeping her voice low and calm. Oh, she said. Well, I was talking to a loner who was on our territory. I was trying to get them to leave, she said. They did leave eventually, she said, still not lying. Salt's eyes narrowed, studying Tortoise with a keen eye for any signs of lying. The warrior said you were speaking to this loner for a long time. Oh, she chuckled nervously. That loner was quite stubborn, she said. Technically, that was true, right? Right. Attack next time if they come onto our territory. Attack them. Kill if need be, Salt replied sternly as she took a step forward. If I find out you're lying to my face, it won't be good for either of us. Understand? Salt asked. Tortoise gulped nervously. I understand, she squeaked. You're a good warrior, Tortoise. Don't disappoint me, Salt said, using her tail to lift Tortoise's chin up a bit. Now go join the others. She nodded and patted away. She hurried out of camp. She grabbed the fish, trotting off. A patrol just attacked me. Hey, Sootfur, she piped cheerfully before hearing his words. What? She dropped the fish. Did you tell them? No, of course not, she mewed. She crouched down, looking around. I heard that your leader knew about us and wants you to kill me. She looked down. Yeah, she mumbled. But I don't want to. She cut herself off. I have to leave this territory. You understand that, right? But, she stammered. I want to see you again, she whispered, pressing her head into his flank. Neither of us will be safe if I stay. You could go to Fortress, she said on the verge of tears. We could meet there. I like you, Tortoise snarl. Me too, she sobbed, her cries muffled into Sootfur's pelt. But they would find us there too. I must go. I'll never forget you. I'd make sure they didn't, she said. Please. He cried goodbye, my dearest love. She watched as Sootfur disappeared, and she crouched down sobbing. Why me? Why? Why me? I can't. Why? Please, why? She stood and ran off towards camp, crying. She padded into camp, her head hung low. She didn't even bother hiding the loner stench. She dug her head into the nest, her eyes watery. She sat up. She didn't want to sleep. She couldn't. Smells here, he muttered. Tortoise said nothing as she padded out, taking the stench with her. She sat next to Tortoise, grimly looking down at her. You and me, border patrols. I need to check that two-legged temple. She blinked, confused. All right, she stood. Why are we all the way out here? She snarled. She sat not facing the she, but thinking to herself, the damn she was with the rogue. The reason Salt died had been caused by a rogue, right? She had no emotion towards such loss. She hissed, turning towards Tortoise. You. Me what? She growled, taking a step back. You call yourself a warrior to be spotted with a rogue. You've always been absent, she snarled, standing tall to look down at Tortoise snarl. She snorted. He's gone now, so does that matter? Her ears pinned. And you admit, she yowled. She unsheathed her claws. So? She unsheathed her claws and in an instant, without a thought, pounced onto Tortoise snarl. And then she hissed, clawing at the ground, trying to scratch at them. What are you doing? I'd kill a cat like you. You've done nothing for this clan, she yelled at the she, raising a paw. The she only managed to scratch at Storm's arm. Get off, please, the she pleaded. Not get over. She pushed the she over and in a fit of rage without thought after the scratch lashed on her throat with her jaws. She screeched as Storm's jaws latched onto her throat, and she went limp. She looked down at the limp body, the way the sun shone upon it.